Girl, sometimes the hardest part isn't walking away from the storm. It's figuring out how to rebuild once the rain has stopped. And welcome back to Girl Me Too. This is where we talk about healing, self discovery, and learning to love the woman that we are becoming. In the last episode, we talked about depression and mental health. In this episode, we're going to talk about what it's like when you are left alone to pick up those pieces and rebuild yourself brick by brick. Let's get into it. When I first left my storm, I thought that everything would instantly go back to how it was. I thought that I would instantly be at peace. And I thought that I would instantly start getting my blessings because, in my mind, that relationship and that person had blocked so many of my blessings. And so I thought that once I left, everything would just, you know, kind of just, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but that didn't happen. And what most people don't tell you about healing is healing can be very, very confusing. Like, yeah, yeah, you're free, but now you're lost. And yeah, you're single and you want to be alone, or at least you think you want to be alone, but you don't know how to be alone. It's like you have gotten so used to chaos. You don't know what it's like to be in silence. You don't know how to be silent. You just don't know. I'm trying to find the right words. You don't know how to sit with yourself. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know how to just sit in silence. A lot of people don't know how to just sit with themselves by themselves because they were so codependent on their partner, their spouse, on a friend, whatever the case may be. You were so codependent, and now that you're alone and you don't have that routine anymore, sometimes you want to go back to the chaos because that's all that you know, or that's all that you knew. And now that you have peace and you have silence, you don't know what to do with it. And that was where, I kind of was in the beginning. Like, once I started getting my peace of mind, and once I started, getting that silence, it was like, damn, like I haven't had it. I hadn't had it in so many years. I didn't know what to do with it. And typically your first response would be to go back to the chaos. And see, that's when you have to sit in silence and you have to sit with yourself by yourself. And you have to, okay, well, what came with the chaos? It was cheating. What came with the chaos? It was abuse. It was trauma. It was this, it was that. That's when you have to kind of weigh out the pros and the cons. Do you really want to go back to chaos? Do you really want to be back in that chaos? Or were you just so codependent and so used to being in chaos that now that you have the peace, now that you have the silence, you don't know what to do with it. Take that time and sit with yourself. Take that time and sit by yourself because you used to pray for peace. You used to pray for silence. Now that you have it, why would you go back to the chaos? Think of everything that came with the chaos. Yeah, I don't think that you're lonely. You're alone, but I don't think that you're lonely. And it feels like that. Sometimes it does feel lonely, but you are doing better than most. If you have silence and if you have peace of mind, you are doing better than most. Please keep it because a lot of people never find it. A lot of people never find peace. A lot of people don't never get that silence. You have it, cherish it. Cherish it. Once I was able to realize and understand and overstand and understand that I had peace and I had silence after being in chaos in this abusive relationship, not healing, and then jumping into another abusive relationship. I know that I went through, my 5 stages, which again, it was the anger, it was the depression. I went through all of that, but I also had to go through a stage of acceptance. And my acceptance stage was I had to look at it for what it was and not what I wanted it to be. I had to look at what happened, how it happened, why it happened, how it ended, why it ended, and I had to really look at it for what it was. not what I wanted it to be, not what he wanted it to be. No, you have to look at it for what it was. And I'm going to tell you because most people don't tell you. When you are healing, healing doesn't mean that you forget what happened. Healing doesn't mean that you forget what they did to you. And when you go through a lot of trauma like I have, it does you do lose memories. You really do. You lose memories and it's like your brain, tries to bury it. That's completely normal. But what I'm saying is in my acceptance journey was look at it for what it was, not for what you wanted to be. And when you're healing, you don't have to forget what happened. You don't have to forget what they did to you, but you know that you're healed or you know that you're healing when you don't let that situation or that person have control over you anymore. When you are healing or you are healed, you have to give up the control that they once had over you. And I got convicted because not too long ago I had gotten into a really, really nasty word match with my ex. And it's like right after it happened, y'all, I felt like crap. I don't know any other way to explain it. I felt like crap for like a week, 2 weeks. And I just felt horrible. And I had to really pray. I had to really, really pray and get that out of me because God had just convicted me because it was like, damn, like I was doing so good. Why did I let what he said, his comments, why did I let that bother me? Why did I let that affect me? Why did I let that take me out of my character when I was doing so damn good? I shouldn't have said those things. I shouldn't have did. You know what I mean? Like I felt like crap because I had came a long way. And all it took was for that one bad day that I was having, him saying whatever little slick comment he made, and I fell for the trap. And after everything happened, I had to really sit and talk to myself and talk to God and just like, damn, like at some point, or at that point, he did still have some kind of control over me. For me to have gotten out of character and for me to have said the things that I said and for me to have reacted the way that I acted, he still had some type of control over me. And I didn't like that. And I definitely felt convicted because again, after it happened, y'all, I felt so bad. I felt like crap, and I called my best friends like, man, I feel like crap. I should have did that, and they were like, no, I mean we get it because and it's like I know, but I just shouldn't have did it, and that was the last time that that person or that situation would ever have control over me. I accepted it for what it was. I accepted what I did in that moment. I accepted the BS that I said. I accepted, how I reacted. I accepted everything and I vowed to God and I vowed to myself that I would never react anymore. So now there's nothing that that person can do. There's nothing that that person could say that would make me come back out of my character that I have fought so hard to get to. I have healed. And some days I'm still healing. Some days, of course, are easier than others. But for the most part, y'all, I am healed. And I'll be damned if I let that person or that situation keep having that effect and that control over me to make me revert back to that old way. No. So for me, again, it was acceptance. You got to accept it for what it was and move on. Stop letting that thing and stop letting that person have control over you. Don't do that. Be non-reactive. Like don't accept it for what it is, what it was, what it is, what it ain't, and move on. And I promise you that will make the healing journey so much easier and so much faster. I had to learn that. The second stage for me after acceptance, it was discovery. And I may have mentioned this in the previous episodes, but it was discovery for me because that was when I had to sit down and I had to ask myself a lot of questions that I didn't have the answer to. And I had to go back and I had to answer those questions. And some of those questions for me were, Who are you outside of pain and survival? Who were you before pain and survival? Can you remember? Do you remember? Who are you outside of being a mom? Who were you outside of being a girlfriend? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What's your favorite food? Like, do you have a relationship with God? Do you want one? If you don't have one, why don't you? Are you willing to get one? Like, these are the questions that I had to ask myself. Like, why did you stay so long? Why did you put up with the disrespect? Why didn't you leave after the first red flag? Why didn't you leave after they first put their hands on you? Like, it's a lot of deep questions that I had to really reflect on. I had to answer. And it may sound silly, but you really have to have those conversations with yourself to gain a better understanding of why you think the way you do, and why you put up with what you put up with. And so discovery, that it was a big part of my healing journey. After discovery came reclamation. Now this one is a really, really big one for me. This is up there with the boundaries and the self-respect. Reclamation to me is you are taking back and coming for everything that was taken from you. I'm gonna say it again, just in case you didn't hear me. And write it down. Reclamation is a big one for me because you are taking back and coming for everything that was taken from you. Let me break it down. You are reclaiming your voice after years of being talked over, and that was me. I feel like I didn't lose my voice. I didn't use my voice, so I lost my voice. My voice was a use it or lose it. And that's what happened to me. I would constantly get yelled over. I would constantly get talked over, and I was never really able to express myself. And I would hold my tongue for a lot of things, to save an argument. I didn't want to argue. So to save an argument, I just wouldn't respond. I would just sit there and I would just take it. So, and that I would think would probably be one of the biggest regret, that I do have, is I didn't use my voice enough and I lost it and I became small. So again, reclamation is important for me because I'm learning to use my voice. I'm taking back the power of my voice. That's a big one for me. And that is something that I'm still working on. And if you can relate to that, put it in the comments. Reclamation is you are reclaiming your worth after being treated like you were disposable. You shrink down. You dimmed your light. This person made you feel like you were just so disposable, and you took it. You stayed and you took it. We're not doing that no more. We are reclaiming our worth. We are reclaiming our confidence. We are reclaiming our self esteem. You are reclaiming your peace. You're reclaiming your peace after chaos tried to become your new norm. No one deserves to be in chaos. Everyone deserves a peace of mind. Everyone deserves some form of peace. Chaos is not normal. Chaos is not peace. We're not going for that. Reclaim your peace. Do what makes you happy. Do what puts you at peace. What puts your mind at ease. We are reclaiming that. I reclaim that for you. That is where you are. Put that down in the comments. Reclamation is so important and it's not talked about enough. You are reclaiming you. You are reclaiming the woman that you were before the heartbreak, before the trauma, and before the abuse. That is the woman that you are reclaiming right now. This season is personal. It is not about us proving ourselves to anybody. If I'm proving myself to anybody, it would be to myself. We're not proving ourselves to nobody. We are not going out of our way for anybody. We are too busy reclaiming ourselves. This is you looking yourself in the mirror and recognizing the girl that fought her way back. This is you looking at that girl and you are telling her, I am so sorry for what I let happen to you. I'm so sorry I was not there for you. I'm so sorry I did not protect you. I'm here now. I'm doing better now. How can we move forward? This is you talking to this is you talking to that inner girl. As a woman, this is you talking to that inner girl, that inner child that I'm not even going to say that I let her down, but I didn't protect her enough. I wasn't there for her enough. I didn't respect her enough. I didn't love her enough. And that is why I went through the things that I went through. And as a woman, I can look back at myself as a young girl and just say, I am sorry. I am sorry. And I'm reclaiming not only me, but I'm reclaiming you because you're the version of me that I lost. I need you back. I want you back. I'm going to do whatever I can to get you back. That's where I'm at in my journey of reclamation. That's why I say reclamation is it's a beautiful thing and it is very, very important that you go through this stage. I want you to reclaim your joy. I want you to reclaim your purpose. I want you to reclaim your body. And most importantly, I want you to reclaim your relationship with God because it was always there. God never took it from you. It was always there. It was always in you. It was just buried. It was buried under the wrong people. It was buried under the wrong love or the things that were described as love but wasn't. It was buried under the wrong reasons. It was always there. It was just buried. And you may have had to go on the journey that you had to go on in order for you to get it back. It's there. Take it, reclaim it. It is yours. You have to find it. This is your season to rise. This is your season to take back everything that trauma and abuse tried to steal or take away from you. This is your season of reclamation. If this is your season, comment it down for me below. It's acceptance, discovery, and reclamation. And reclamation is the biggest one for me. It's a big one, and I feel like even if you don't go through, the acceptance and the discovery, at some point you have to go through the reclamation, or you have to go through a rebrand. You have to go through, one or the other. You're older now, you're wiser now, you kind of know what you need to do and you kind of know who you need to be versus who you were. You know what I mean? And that's the season where some of us are right now. I hope that this resonates with the right woman. I hope that this finds the right woman. And most importantly, I hope that this helps the right woman find herself. Because again, you are not the only one who is going through this. You are not the only one who has been in a abusive or a toxic relationship, and you will not be the last. And again, it was really hard for me to open up and talk about these things, but I'm to the point in my life where I have no shame. You know what I mean? I can admit that I fell for the okie doke. I can admit that I did a lot of things wrong. I can admit that I wasn't the best version of myself. I can admit that I let men mistreat me and abuse me and use me. And I have no shame in that. I have no shame in that because I've learned from that. You know what I mean? And my testimony, my story could possibly help the next young woman, the next old woman. Let me tell you something. I don't care if you were in a situation for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. If you got out, I'm damn proud of you. And I don't care what nobody say. That getting out of a toxic or an abusive relationship, fighting your way out of depression, I am proud of you. It's not easy. I don't care what anybody say. It's not easy. And it'd be the same people, I would never do this and I would never do that. That if they were to get in that situation, they would fold. They wouldn't know what to do in that situation. And I'm not saying that is right, and no woman should ever be in that situation. But if you were and you got out, I am damn proud of you. This is your season. Reclaim yourself. Rebrand yourself. Rebrand yourself. Love on yourself. Love on them kids. Find who you are. In today's society, It's like it's normal for us to just be a mother. It's normal for us to just be a wife. It's normal for us to just be a girlfriend. No, find who you were before you became those titles. Find who you were before all of that. Find who you are now. Find who you are now, because outside of you being a mom, outside of you being a wife, outside of you being a girlfriend, outside of you being a daughter, a sister, a aunt, whatever, you are still a person. And y'all, we do not have much time left on this earth. Get out there in the world and reclaim who you were meant to be. Find your purpose. Make a plan and stick to it. And above all else, if you don't do nothing else, please build a relationship with God, because when you do that, that will open your eyes to your purpose. That will open your eyes to who you really are. I have high hopes for us. I have high hopes for this sisterhood, and I know that we can get through it. And believe me again when I tell you, I'm speaking from experience. I have been through it. I'm not just talking to talk. Now, I told you my story. I would love to hear from you women. I would love to hear some of your stories. And again, some women aren't comfortable, putting themselves out there on the line, and that's fine. That's why I'm doing it. So you can know you are not alone. I promise you, you're not. You're not the first and you won't be the last. Now, I have been getting some messages. Typically I was recording every 2 weeks, but I did slow it down to recording just once a month. Just because I felt like 2 weeks was kind of, maybe a lot, at once. And so I just kind of toned it down to the one per month. And I really want to see, how that works well with my audience. I want to see, now if I have to go back to doing it every 2 weeks, I will. But I just really, really hope that these episodes reaches the right woman. I hope that it reaches and it touches who it needs to touch, because the things that I'm telling y'all are the things that I have gone through, or it is the things that I am still going through. And I would love to continue to have these conversations with y'all. But that will be all for tonight. I am wrapping up. I just want to let you ladies know you are beautiful, you are resilient, you are amazing, amazing, amazing beings. I love y'all. I do not know y'all, but I love y'all, and I sincerely wish y'all the best. It is never too late to find yourself. It is never too late to rebuild yourself. It is never too late to reclaim yourself. And it is never too late to build a relationship with God. It's never too late. This has been Girl Me Too. My name is Sierra, and I thank you ladies for being here with me tonight. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of them babies. Until next time.